70% of wealthy families lose everything by the second generation. 90% are gone by the third. Not because the money wasn't real, not because the empire wasn't built, because no one taught it how to survive without its founder. There is an old phrase for it: shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. One builds it, one protects it, and one loses it without ever understanding what it was. We have already walked 2 chapters of this. In the wealth architecture, we built the frame. In the invisible vault, we made it disappear from the eyes that would tax it, sue it, or seize it. But a fortune that only survives while you are alive to defend it was never wealth. It was a job. A very well-paid job that ends the day you do. The final test of any structure is not how well it protects you. It's whether it still runs, in your silence, after your name is no longer spoken in the room. There is a form of transfer that leaves no trace in a courtroom, no public filing, no family feud aired before a judge, no 40% of the estate handed to a government that did none of the building. It is called, in the rooms where old money is discussed quietly, the silent inheritance. Not a single document, not a single trick, a system built years, sometimes decades before it is ever needed. The families who keep their wealth for 5, 6, 7 generations did not get lucky. They simply refused to leave the transfer to chance, to grief, or to a will read aloud in a lawyer's office after the funeral. Every fortune that dies with its founder dies for one of 3 reasons. The court takes its time and its fee through probate. The state takes its share through estate tax. Or the family takes itself apart, fighting over what was never divided while its architect could still explain the plan. None of these enemies are dramatic. They don't announce themselves. They simply wait, patiently, for the one day every family eventually faces. There are 4 instruments the old money families have used for over a century to move wealth through time, without losing it to any of the 3. Not loopholes, not luck, structures. We call them the 4 vessels. Let's open them. The first vessel is the Dynasty Trust, an irrevocable structure that once funded no longer legally belongs to you. Which sounds like a loss. It is, in fact, the entire point. What you no longer own cannot be seized by your creditors, divided in your divorce, or counted in your taxable estate when you die. Assets placed inside can compound for generations. In some states, Nevada, South Dakota, Delaware, for centuries, without ever being taxed again at each generational handoff. The founder gives up direct ownership. The bloodline keeps the benefit, indefinitely. The second vessel solves a different problem: control. Because most founders don't fear losing wealth, they fear losing the steering wheel. A family limited partnership lets you gift ownership without gifting authority. The founder holds a small general partnership stake, and with it, total control of decisions. The children and grandchildren hold limited partnership shares. Value moves to them, often at a legally discounted valuation, shielded from their own future creditors and divorces. Control stays in one hand. Ownership spreads to many. Here is the trap that destroys more estates than any other. The wealth is real. The land, the business, the portfolio. But none of it is cash. And the tax bill arrives in cash with a deadline. Families without a plan are forced to fire sell the business, the land, the legacy, just to pay the bill on time. The third vessel prevents this. A life insurance policy, owned inside an irrevocable trust, pays out instantly, tax-free, exactly when it's needed. Liquidity arrives, without a single asset being sold. The fourth vessel is the one that outlives even the first three, a private structure, sometimes just one trusted advisor, sometimes an entire office, whose only job is governing the other three, generation after generation. It hires the accountants, reviews the trustees, enforces the family's rules, long after the person who wrote them is gone. Some houses fold a private foundation into this office, turning philanthropy into both a legacy and a tax instrument. This is the difference between wealth that is managed and wealth that is merely inherited. One requires a system, the other requires nothing at all, and nothing is exactly what it becomes. Without these vessels in place, a fortune does not pass quietly. It passes through probate, a public court process that can take a year, sometimes several. Every asset, every debt, every name in the will becomes a public record, searchable, contestable, slow. Court fees and legal costs quietly erode the estate before a single dollar reaches an heir. The family that built in silence is suddenly forced to settle everything in daylight. Then comes the estate tax. In most developed nations, a fortune left undefended can lose 30–40% of its value the moment it changes hands. Not because the family did anything wrong, simply because they did nothing at all. The four vessels exist almost entirely to legally prevent this exact bleed, moving value across generations before the taxable moment ever occurs. The most painful fracture is never legal. It's personal. Siblings who were close for 30 years can become strangers over an undivided estate. Ambiguity is the enemy here, not malice. When intentions are left unwritten, everyone fills the silence with their own version of what's fair. A written governance plan doesn't just protect assets, it protects relationships. By removing the guesswork the moment grief arrives. And even when the money survives the court, the tax, and the family, one fracture remains: the heir who was never taught to hold it. Sudden wealth, handed to someone without the discipline that built it, rarely lasts. Studies on lottery winners and unprepared heirs tell the same story again and again. The money arrives, and within a few short years, it's simply gone. Capital without character is only ever borrowed time. This is the fracture no trust document can repair on its own. It requires something else entirely. The families who succeed past the third generation share one habit almost no one talks about. They write down who they are before they write down what they own. A family constitution. Not a legal document, a philosophical one. Values, expectations, the purpose of the wealth itself, agreed upon while everyone is still in the room to discuss it. It becomes the referee the vessels alone can never be. The old model released wealth on a birthday. 25, 30, whatever age the founder once picked, arbitrarily. The modern vessel releases wealth on a milestone instead. A degree completed, a business launched, a year of sobriety, a dollar matched for every dollar earned honestly. This single shift, from age-based to merit-based distribution, is, quietly, the most effective fracture repair tool in the entire system. It teaches the hand to hold the wealth before the wealth is placed inside it. No founder lives forever, so the final piece is never a person. It's a succession of trustees, often a professional corporate trustee paired with a family oversight committee. So the structure keeps functioning long after every person who built it has left the room. This is what silent truly means, not secret. Self-sustaining, a system that no longer requires its architect to keep standing. The wealth architecture built the frame. The invisible vault made it disappear from those who would take it. And the silent inheritance makes it outlive the one who built it entirely. This was never about a single fortune. It was about a single question, asked by every family that has ever lasted more than one generation. What continues when I no longer can? The vessels are open. The choice, as always, is silent.